Are you considering a seaside holiday in Egypt? But what should you choose? The Red Sea towns like Hurghada, Sharm El Sheikh, Marsa Alam, or even the north coast along the Mediterranean Sea? Well, I have been to Egypt multiple times, visiting many different cities, and in this video I'll show you the differences between Egypt's seaside resort towns, what to do there, and share some useful travel tips. Let's begin! First, let's talk about the weather, because Egypt's seasons work a bit differently. The Red Sea towns are extremely popular for holidays because they offer great weather when most of Europe is freezing in autumn and winter. The season here starts as soon as Europe's ends, around late October, and lasts until May. Summer can be quite unbearable in Egypt, with temperatures soaring above 40 degrees Celsius. The north coast, especially the new city of El Alamein, is a different story. Its season is more summer-oriented because it's on the Mediterranean, although the shoulder months, May, September, and October, are especially pleasant. So, the best time to enjoy the sea in Egypt is during autumn and spring, when temperatures sit comfortably from 25 to 30 degrees during the day, leaving you free to choose any hotel you like. However, if you are traveling in the middle of winter and want warm weather, you need to be strategic with your location. Temperatures may still be above 20 degrees during the day in all Red Sea towns, but winter and early spring tend to be windy, which noticeably cools things down. So how do we get around this in order to enjoy the sea and the sun? It's best to choose a hotel located in a bay, which naturally blocks the wind. In Hurghada, areas like Sal Hashish and Makadi Bay are great options. In Sharm El Sheikh, look for Nama Bay, Hadaba, or Sharks Bay. These spots generally stay warmer thanks to better wind protection. Avoid Nabak in Sharm El Sheikh during winter. While it does have many luxury resorts, it is also the windiest and therefore the coldest area. Overall, Sharm El Sheikh stays warmer than Hurghada in winter due to its geography, while Marsa Alam is usually the warmest of all. But here too, choosing a bay is still a good idea. Now that we have covered the weather differences, let's talk about each town and what to do while you're there. The largest city on the Red Sea, Hurghada, offers more than just resorts. You will also find a real Egyptian city full of life. The main resort areas are outside of a busy city center, but if you are interested in local Egyptian life, you will find plenty of opportunities to experience it here. Hurghada also has several shopping malls with a mix of international and local brands. A nearby destination worth mentioning is El Gouna, often referred to as the Venice of Egypt. It is filled with lagoons, canals, small boutique shops, restaurants, and upscale hotels. The town also hosts one of the most renowned film festivals in the Middle East, El Gouna Film Festival. Overall, with its relaxed atmosphere and neat design, it's safe to say that El Gouna is a favorite destination among wealthy Egyptians and international holiday seekers. Hurghada region is a great base if you want to enjoy both the Red Sea and ancient Egyptian sites. Many hotels have sandy beaches, though some also have their own in-house coral reefs. One of the most popular excursions is a snorkeling or diving trip around Giftun Island. I visited it last winter and even did my first deep dive there. It was unforgettable. All it took was a short introduction and I was good to go with the guidance of an experienced diver. Most hotels have their own diving centers offering full PADI courses, but they take a few days. If that's your goal, try your best to find out the timings in advance so that you don't miss the course start date. Giftun Island's Orange Bay is another highlight, a sandy beach with incredibly clear water and soft sand. It's included in almost all boat tours, so expect it to be crowded. Some tours offer access to a VIP zone, which is a bit more peaceful. Another major advantage of Hurghada is its proximity to Luxor, where the most impressive ancient Egyptian temples and tombs are located. While 300 kilometers doesn't seem very close, this is quite a short distance in Egypt, and it's well worth taking the trip while staying in Hurghada, and there are many local tour agencies organizing day trips. If you like history and ancient Egypt, Luxor is truly a magical place to visit. I have been there 2 times before and I loved every second of it. It is a very different experience from visiting the pyramids of Giza in Cairo, as the temples and tombs are much more detailed and the decor from the ancient times is still there. Oh, I could make another video just about Luxor. Maybe next time when I'll visit it, as the previous times were before I started filming my travels. Let's go back to Hurghada. Of course, besides Luxor and snorkeling, Hurghada offers desert safari trips and Bedouin camp visits as well. This activity is available in all Red Sea towns. South of Hurghada lies Marsa Alam. It is probably the smallest town from all that I will mention today. Don't expect large city centers or shopping malls. Marsa Alam is all about tranquility, natural beauty, and pristine sea life. Marsa Alam is the most southern Red Sea town in Egypt and is quite remote, and there are only few flights to Marsa Alam airport. For the same reason, this is probably the best place to go if you want a calm holiday by the sea, as well as seeing the best of the Red Sea. Marsa Alam is a diver's paradise with beautiful reefs and higher chances of spotting dolphins, dugongs, and turtles. Further south from there is Wadi El Gemal Reserve, a stunning area with ancient mangroves, wild desert landscapes, and gorgeous beaches. There are tours to the reserve, including visits to local Bedouin campsites to experience the local culture. Like Hurghada, Marsa Alam is within reach of Luxor, making day trips possible. Overall, Marsa Alam is ideal for nature lovers, diving and snorkeling enthusiasts, and those looking for a peaceful, resort-based holiday. Situated at the tip of Sinai Peninsula, Sharm El Sheikh is a very well-established resort city, and it is somewhere between Hurghada and Marsa Alam in terms of atmosphere. It has great sea life, but it is much busier than Marsa Alam, but unlike Hurghada, it doesn't have a traditional Egyptian city center. Sharm El Sheikh is almost entirely built for tourists. Sharm El Sheikh is pretty much tourist territory, far away from any major Egyptian city. This can be a good thing if that's what you're seeking. Areas like Soho Square and Nama Bay are much more Europe-like than any other places in Egypt, and you will not find any locals there. Shopping here is not the strongest point. Most stores are low-quality shops offering special prices, fake designer items, and generic souvenirs. Even Soho Square, despite being surrounded by some of the most luxurious hotels in town, is mostly filled with poor-quality merchandise. It feels like a glorified street market of cheap stuff. But the good news is that if you're actually seeking some authentic Egyptian souvenirs, you can find that here. There are some shops of Egyptian art and crafts in Soho Square, but the biggest variety of Egyptian goods you will find at the Old Market area. There you will find hundreds of shops selling everything you can imagine. At the center there is a large square with a beautiful mosque and the Instagram-famous mountain cafe behind it. But let's move on to the true beauties of Sharm El Sheikh and the reasons to visit it. When it comes to coral reefs and sea life, Sharm El Sheikh is probably the best option if Marsa Alam is hard to reach for you and you don't have plans to visit the ancient Egyptian sites. While the sea life of Red Sea at Sharm El Sheikh is not as lush as the remote Marsa Alam region, it definitely is more vibrant than in Hurghada. Ras Mohammed National Park is a perfect example of this. Many hotels also have coral reefs right at their doorstep, especially around Hadaba and Sharks Bay. On my latest trip, I stayed at one of the hotels in Sharks Bay and found the reef even more diverse than what I had seen on boat tours. And while I was really happy with the boat itself we took, it was haunting to see the sheer amount of boats on the way to the national park in the morning. Also, most of the boats visit the White Island too, which reminded me a bit of the beach in Orange Bay, but extremely crowded. I wouldn't recommend visiting here if you had an option to opt out. But the fact is that most tours have it included. Anyway, the Ras Mohammed National Park is a really beautiful place for snorkeling and especially for deep diving. It can also be reached by land. There are several snorkeling sites with road access. If you are a keen diver, you have probably heard of one of the most famous dive spots in the Red Sea, the Blue Hole in Dahab, just 1 hour's drive away from Sharm El Sheikh. The Blue Hole is a natural sinkhole with depth of over 100 meters, known for its stunning clarity and marine life. Dahab is also known as a more laid-back bohemian resort with more affordable accommodations available than the 5-star hotel resorts in Sharm El Sheikh. There are some Bedouin campsites available for stays as well. I have also stayed in one of the camps in this area, and it was a very interesting experience, immersing myself in the nature and local Bedouin life at the seaside. For those who want to see something historical, there is one place really worth a day trip from Sharm El Sheikh. It is the Monastery of St. Catherine, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. St. Catherine was built in the 6th century and is the oldest Christian monastery still in use for its initial function. The monastery is beautifully situated in a valley between the tallest mountains in Egypt, one of them being Mount Sinai, where Moses received the 10 Commandments from God. The monastery is a beautiful place to explore, with its Byzantine architecture, art, and collections of early Christian manuscripts and icons. Often, the tours that take you to St. Catherine also visit the desert canyons nearby, which have interesting rock formations and are lovely to explore. Finally, let's look at Egypt's newest holiday destination, El Alamein. Located on the north coast along the Mediterranean Sea, about 100 kilometers away from Alexandria, this area has long been known for luxury villas and resorts. But the establishment of a new city is changing the landscape and opportunities here in a big way. The main attraction is the coastline itself. This is where the soft Saharan sand merges with the Mediterranean Sea. The color of the sea here is such pristine turquoise blue that it is almost blinding. The north coast is perfect if you want to savor those pristine beaches and have a calm holiday. But now with a brand new city with lagoons, hotels, a seaside promenade, and modern shopping malls here, there are many more options for entertainment during the stay. What to see around El Alamein? The sightseeing options here are very different from the ones at the Red Sea towns. El Alamein has some historical sites from the Second World War to visit. This area is where some of the most important battles of North Africa took place, and tens of thousands of lives were lost here. Nowadays, visitors can go to the War Museum, a memorial and cemetery to get to know the history. For some much older history, one can take a day trip to visit Alexandria, the second largest city in Egypt. It is just 100 kilometers away from El Alamein. Besides being a true bustling Egyptian city, it has some Roman ruins to visit and museums with artifacts from ancient Egyptian, Greco-Roman, and later times. I used to live in Alexandria for a while, and I have made a separate video about the things to do and places you can visit in the city. I will leave a link to this video in the description below, so if you are interested, you can go ahead and watch it after this one. Cairo is also possible to reach for a day trip. It is much closer from here than from the Red Sea resorts, with around 250 kilometers away, while the nearest Red Sea town, Hurghada, is 450 kilometers away. So you can easily combine a beach holiday at El Alamein with a trip to the pyramids. One more place on this side of the country that is well worth visiting if you are adventurous is Siwa Oasis. It is quite far at almost 500 kilometers away from El Alamein, but it is the nearest from the cities I have mentioned today. Siwa Oasis is a place to go if you want to experience true desert life, visit ancient ruins, and have a dip in salt lakes there or even in Cleopatra's pool. Egypt offers an incredible variety of seaside experiences, each fit for different types of travels. Whether you're seeking vibrant underwater worlds, ancient history, quiet natural escapes, or picture-perfect Mediterranean beaches, there is a destination for every taste. Hurghada is ideal for combining the beauty of the Red Sea with a touch of local modern-day Egyptian life and excursions to Luxor. Marsa Alam is perfect for divers and nature lovers seeking peace and untouched beauty. Sharm El Sheikh is good balance between the previous two, with best underwater life without going too remote, lots of comfort and lots of activities. Sightseeing is different here too, with trips to Sinai Desert and a more laid-back atmosphere of Dahab. Meanwhile, Al Alamein at the north coast offers a refreshing new alternative with calm turquoise waters and modern comforts with access to the major Egyptian cities. No matter which coastline you choose, Egypt will not leave you indifferent. The country is large, full of historical, natural, and cultural sites to explore. Let me know in the comments which area in Egypt is your vibe. That's it for today, and thanks for watching.